Ba-na-na-na-na-na. Welcome to Coco's Corner. I am the huge one, aka the idiot, Dave Coco from KocoSports.com or KocoSports.net. It's where the world comes to kick ass, a home for combat sports, and above all, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. This is a Tough Enough review. I don't know if I'm going to review Tough Enough every week. I apologize that it's late. I don't even know, if you should review reality TV shows, just because I'm a huge pro wrestling fan. I love television, but when it comes to reality television, I'm just not a big fan of it. It's just like the worst of television. But a lot of people on social media hit me up. They said, "Hey, can you review Tough Enough?" And I was like, "All right, I'll do it." And I want to be a podcaster of his word, so let's review Tough Enough. Normally we ask you win, loss, or tie. I guess we can do that. As far as win, loss, tie goes, I'm gonna give it a tie. Reality television isn't my cup of tea. With that said, at least they focused on stuff that would make important to be an important wrestler. And the most important thing about this is it's kind of like a retirement home. It's kind of like a way to get a lot of these WWE legends, injured wrestlers, former women's wrestler, now diva, a chance to shine. And it's great to see. It's like, wow, all right, cool. WWE's taking care of their own, so I really like that. But there's a lot of people just the Tough Enough cast is bigger than Floyd Mayweather's posse. All right, let's go over this. You have the trainers. You got Booker T, Lita, and Billy Gunn. One thing that I'm happy about is no one's the Bill DeMott yet. No one is the Al Snow. Not Al Snow from Tough Enough, the nice guy. There has to be a Simon in the group. There doesn't seem to be that this season. I don't know if it's because Bill DeMott got in trouble for, bullying or, maybe being an asshole isn't the best way to train people, says the former Marine Corps infantry instructor. So yeah, overall, I'm happy with the trainers so far. None of them have tried to steal the show and be Simon or Al Snow on TNA or Bill DeMott. Then you have the judges, which they're trying to make it like American Idol and all those type shows. You have Daniel Bryan, who a lot of news coming out with Bret Hart's interview and stuff. And you got Hulk Hogan, a legend, but rumor has it he has money problems. But who knows? He has a huge lawsuit against Gawker, so that might change. And then you have Paige, who's someone I've watched on Independent. She's been wrestling since 3 years old. Made a great documentary about her family. Did great in NXT, and she's talking about being the anti-diva. She's like the ultimate diva now. She's like, I want to see someone that's different, so that the machine can make you exactly the same like they did with me. And, then you have the host, Chris Jericho, Renee Young, and then you have an interviewer, The Miz, for afterwards, Tough Talk. So it's like there's more people training these kids than probably contestants. One thing is that bugs me is like, oh, are you tough enough? Or do you have what it takes to be a diva? Most places, if you say you're a diva, it's an insult. Like I don't know. Like to me, all these politically correct people and all these causes and all that. And hey, if something's wrong, you should step up and say something. I'm not going to throw you under the bus for that. But it always rubs me the wrong way. That's like you don't go after the fact that the women's wrestlers are called divas. Their title is that. If you were getting a contract to be NXT women's wrestler, then I'd be like, yeah, you're worthy of it. But let's be honest, is it really hard to be a diva? If you're good looking, cha-ching, you're in. I don't understand the diva selling thing. I hope, give women at wrestling a chance takes off, I just don't get it. And one thing that bugged me is when they came to the judges, like, what are you looking for? And all of them were like, personality, it factor. Paige was like, oh, we're looking for someone different. Why? You were different. You're looking for someone different so that you can make a carbon copy of every fucking diva out there. You once were great. Now you're a diva that's really white with an accent. You're the female Sheamus. Congratulations. But yeah, they keep talking about personalities and it factor. And, with stars like John Cena, Dave Batista, Randy Orton, let's see, even today's stars, you look at today's stars, Roman Reigns. Do these people have the it factor? Like, if you say it factor, Dusty Rhodes, got it. Hulk Hogan, okay, it factor, got it. Even Grado in England, got it. Stone Cold, The Rock. Yeah, they got the it factor. But when you're like, oh, you gotta have the it factor like John Cena. What it factor does he have? He's a marketing tool. He's a flyer. Same thing with Roman Reigns. I mean, I don't get it. Like, what is the it factor? And maybe you're like, oh no, you're just player hating and all that. And I understand you younger fans have to defend your generation of wrestling because you think if people don't like your generation of wrestling, they don't like pro wrestling. And that's just not factual. But just do yourself a favor. YouTube, you go to YouTube, Google, look up Stone Cold, The Rock, Dusty Rhodes, even Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior. These are people that had the it factor. Now compare that to what John Cena does, what Dave Bautista does, what Randy Orton does, what Roman Reigns does. You're insane. The it factor means nothing. When you're like, oh, it's about personality and it factor, even Jericho kind of cracked up at it. It's like, you really mean who's going to kiss the most ass? And that's what I like about this Tough Enough so far early in the season. It does seem like skill and talent do matter. That's at least that's what it looks like early on. So hopefully it goes that way. Only really 2 contestants stood out. Well, let's go over the rules. We got 1 contestant will be eliminated each week. Each week, the judges will nominate their bottom 3 contestants, so you can kind of still rig the elections, but still, WWE is going to be giving them $250,000, so they want to handpick who they can. Viewers will vote to keep their favorites of the bottom 3 in a global vote, so you vote, and then whoever's the bottom of those 3 are gone. A bit confusing. I wish 2 guys got eliminated, because then it would be like, oh, shit, the votes really matter, but that's just me. And each judge, well, I thought this was kind of cool. Each judge gets 1 contestant save per season. It's kind of game showy, reality TV show, but I thought it was kind of cool and different and Tough Enough. And it's a little different than previous seasons of Tough Enough. The one good thing is they were most of the show on physical challenges. It really looks like it's down to, I just want to make sure I get their names right. I apologize. It really looks like it's down to boop boop boom. I'm just getting this one guy's name right. It's like the main guy that everyone talks about. Tanner. It looks like it's down to Tanner and also Patrick. Because like now, all the cameras focus on them. And if you're going off reality television, I know they edit a lot. It's kind of like when I don't know. It's just like pro wrestling has a bad reputation in the entertainment world. I just think, how can it be any worse than reality TV? It just cracks me up. But Tanner dominated the show with a personality, dominated the show with going at it. And I don't know. I guess my question tonight: does size really matter to you? Does looks matter to you? Maybe I'm too much of a wrestling purist, but looks and size do not matter to me. If you're 5'10" and ugly as shit, maybe your face looks like a Donkey Kong pixelated asshole, I'm still gonna root for you if you're a good wrestler. I just don't understand why looks matter. And I understand you're trying to get the fan base of women. I kind of understand, but at the same time, even the women, I would rather have a woman that looks like Nicole Bass that can have 5-star matches than the Bellas every week. But I might be in the minority, and plus they're going after that key demographic of people that really don't give a shit that much. Ha! Yes, their favorite demographic. So Tanner just dominates, and then you have Patrick, who's supposed to be like, oh, I'm the only guy, I'm the only guy that stands a chance. I don't know. They really focused on these 2. I'd be a Tanner guy all the way, but Patrick, the Miz on the after show is like, do the best you can, make the biggest impact. Patrick's like little 5-second, 10-second promo, I was about to bust into tears. He's like, oh, I think his dad passed away or left him, I'm not really sure. And he's like, well, WWE was there for me. And, I was just like, it's always been my dream. And I was like, oh, the emotions. So hopefully Patrick and Tanner are the focus of this. One thing that always bothers me about Tough Enough is we need to stop these bullshit promos of, I need this, I want this. Make your lies more believable. If you're not an independent wrestler, just shut the fuck up with I need this, I want this. Because you're full of shit. Now, if you're going to lie, because the thing is about Tough Enough, every effing season, they always tell the same lie. This is a better lie. This is a more realistic lie. I'm going to help you out, Tough Enough contestants. You say, I always wanted to be a pro wrestler, but I didn't know how, and then this opportunity came. That is a way more believable lie than, I've always wanted this. I need this. It is my life. What have you been doing? Well, I work out in the gym, and I direct gay porn. I don't fucking know what these fuckers are doing. But, for someone that needs it and wants it's crazy. It's kind of like, oh, I need to be a writer. I want to be a writer. What have you written yet? Well, I'm going to wait until I get a job. Then I'll start writing. Like, that's not the fucking way it works. It's just, think about it. If Tough Enough was a legit job, all right? And someone said, hey, I need to do this. And you're like, all right, show me an example of your work of what you need to do. Oh, well, I haven't done it yet. Oh, well, you don't really need to do it, I just find it crazy. And I don't know if any of them have indie experience. They really didn't break that down. I'm sure they'll break that down farther in this season. But the whole, I need this. I got nowhere else to go. This bullshit. Like, you could have went to a school, Lance Storm, Team 3D, Monster Factory, the Usos family, the Samoans. Yeah, fucking there's schools everywhere. FCW, you have tryouts all the time. But, you only need it when it sounds good for a clip. Alright, I understand. Yeah, and then there's one part where, like, it's just fake drama bullshit. I don't know if I lived in Japan too long. In Japan they have different personalities and stuff, and I get along better in Japan than I do in America. But, if someone yells at you constantly, you either fucking say, stop talking to me, or, we're gonna have to step outside. It's just crazy. Like, one thing I don't understand about reality television is, if some fucking fucktard you barely know yells at you, wouldn't you be like, hey, dude, no, we're about to go down? And, first they start off, they got Deanna, who maybe she has a fiance, maybe she don't, I don't know, it's just drama bullshit. Like, it matters. Like, if you're good at your job and you show up on time, do we care that she misses her husband? Like, let's just take, the best female wrestler going today, Charlotte. Well, if she cries because she misses her boy toy, do we give a fuck? If she shows up on time, has great matches, don't care. I don't know why this is drama. I don't know, like, and not that, but, like, she's crying. Like, okay, if you're in the Ultimate Fighter, I understand. Alright, you're like, oh, you can't leave the house. If you're in Alcatraz, I understand. If you gotta go to fucking prison, I understand. But you're like, I miss my husband, when you literally walked out of the building and left with him. Like, what? What do you mean you miss your husband? So you literally broke down and cried because you missed your husband for what? Or fiance, whatever the fucking situation is. For what? A half hour? An hour? 2 hours? And it's not like they have rules, I think they had tougher rules on Legends House, for Christ's sake. Like, here they're just like, oh, I picked you up. All right, come on, let's go. What? Are you out of your effing mind? All right, what? This Tough Enough is easier than college, boot camp, Legends House, Ultimate. Like, there's nothing. Survivor is more difficult. Tough Enough, more like easy enough. So you're like, oh no, I miss my husband, I miss my fiance, drama. Oh, I see him. Oh, we go out. He fucking buys me ice cream. We have a wonderful evening, and I come back and I miss him. Like, it blows my fucking mind. What do you miss? Like, I understand if, you're from Australia, you're from Japan, you're 8 years old and you never left home before. Okay, I understand. I understand breaking down, okay? Me, I never understood that, but, I'm an asshole. But, some people are not assholes. Some people need their loved ones around them. Okay, I'm not going to judge you. But, bitch, you got out of the car. You just saw him. You're crazy. And then Gabby comes in. Everyone's faking it. Gabby's like, I'm not going to fake being your friend. I'm going to fake being offended. Who gives a shit? They fight. And then I'm like, oh my god, I hate drama and bitches. This is fucking crazy. And then I was like, for a moment, I was like, oh my god, am I sexist? You know, these women are yelling at each other. Maybe I'm the sexist pig. Then they went straight to the guys bitching at each other, and I was like, thank you, WWE. I thought I was in the wrong. But nope, it doesn't matter your sexuality. Bitches be bitches. That's from Philip DeFranco. Go buy his t-shirt. But as Philip DeFranco said, bitches be bitches. Don't matter if you're a dude or a chick. It was like, all right, here you go. Let's see how good your cardio is. Bitch time, yay! And then they drink and party. It's like, it's not tough enough. It's a fantasy camp. It is a goddamn fantasy camp. Tough talk after that was with the Miz. You got to meet a couple people. Someone mentioned this on Twitter. I don't know how true this is, but I'll ask you guys. Was the black guy the only guy that didn't get interviewed in the post show? I don't know. I couldn't answer that, but that was a question we got on Twitter. And they did a great job of making Hank look like an asshole. And maybe he's just really an asshole, but fuck Hank. It comes down to ZZ, who's like a cute, lovable, fat fucking nerd guy. He's a Cajun, so everyone's like, wow, I'm gonna root for him. And then you have Hank, who's like, I'm just gonna say everything wrong while the camera's on, and then be a complete fucking tool during the live show. Dude, listen. This is either really bad television or Hank's a fucking idiot. Either way, fuck Hank. He's the one that gets voted off. But ZZ, who's supposed to be the comic relief guy, you're no Grado. You're no Grado, sir. And then you had Josh, who basically was, if Big John Studd and Roman Reigns had love relationships out of wedlock and had a bastard child. That's what it was. It was one rough night of Roman Reigns and Big John Studd looking each other's eyes. And ta-da! Josh is here. So, congratulations. Talk tough. A lot of people put over how good The Miz did. The Miz was funny. He had a personality. And it's funny because, like, when they can be themselves, the Miz, the ESPN thing, shoot interviews every now and then, Twitter. When they can be themselves, they're so much more entertaining than what they write up storyline-wise. And you call it the reality era. Maybe you should make it the reality era and just let the guys be themselves as far as promos go. On Twitter, everyone was complimenting The Miz on being fucking funny. And there you go. Tough talk was kind of, I don't know, it was kind of cool, but at the same time, kind of a waste of time. I'm looking at a Bleacher Report. Here are some notes. ZZ likes to get naked in hot tubs, but no one else seems to enjoy it. Gabby has a farting problem. Alright. Yep, according to Deanna, it was Gabby's husband who had the idea for her to take pole dancing classes. Brian and Paige think Deanna is forcing her fiance to wear his wedding ring. I didn't know that was a thing. I got married at really young age. And yeah, when I gave my wife her ring, she gave me a ring. I was bamboozled because I learned something about Tough Enough. I got married really young. I got married when I was like 17, and I'm older now, so we've been married a real long time. But yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know the dudes didn't have to wear the rings. I had no real male role models. I didn't have Daniel Bryan in a reality TV show to tell me different. Yeah, because like Daniel Bryan and Paige were like, "You're making your husband wear the ring." I was like, "What?" There was an option not to wear the ring. I know. I was bamboozled. All right. Josh calls The Miz babe, and Daniel Bryan finds hilarious. The Miz and Bryan are buddies in real life. The Miz thinks Paige could kick his butt. All right. So there's your notes. So overall, if you like reality TV, good. At least they focused on it. But I imagine Tanner's probably gonna lose in a fucking Connect Four, kiss Vince McMahon's ass thing. But hopefully this year is different. Hopefully, I honestly think the first Tough Enough, even though it was ridiculous, I think the casual fans, the public, respected pro wrestlers a lot more. And then as Tough Enough went along, it was basically the same thing, watered down, kind of like the Ultimate Fighter now. Only like the super hardcore fans really watch it. But then it came back with Stone Cold and Trish Stratus, and I think that season of Tough Enough actually made pro wrestling look horrible, absolutely horrible. This Tough Enough, maybe it's changing things up. It's giving a lot of wrestlers new gigs, new jobs. So I appreciate that as a fan. I mean, it does get a bit crazy at times, but besides that, I say the first episode, besides the bitch fest by both the dudes and the girls, it did not make pro wrestling look bad. So maybe in the rest of the world's eyes, outside of pro wrestling, people will learn to respect it. Because I remember, if you remember back from Tough Enough the first season, when Al Snow wasn't an asshole. Yeah, when you think back to that season, people respected pro wrestling. I remember sport fans. I think I was still working in sports radio back then. I could be wrong, but I remember sport fans and non-wrestling fans being like, "Wow, this Tough Enough. This I didn't know there was all this involved in pro wrestling." And if you go back and watch it, it was kind of ridiculous. So hopefully they focus on finding a good pro wrestler. So overall, I give it a tie. I don't know if I'm going to review every week. Maybe I'll review the season. All right. So please like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to try to do shorter shows. This was supposed to be a short show. And hopefully I can catch up and do shows because I've been sick and busy like crazy. All right. With that, I am over. Bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum.